AM 560. The answer.
Oh, there's a Democrat in a high position getting their freak out with an underling. And then there's Tom Massey. I never seen a guy take a death of a spouse in such stride as that scumbag, lowlife fraud Massey. Voting now with communists. Of course, he's always kind of been willing, pliable, to go along, to get along.
Yeah, it's worrisome. You know, the Fed basically has become now just a giant hedge fund. It's lost $1 trillion, and counting. It's going to be a gigantic loss. What it does is
all green energy financing. All of it. You didn't hear. Tom Massey drives a Tesla. He's got solar. He was pushing everything green energy. Hey, Tom, did you get your beak wet? Did you get in on it? Please, tell me you weren't stupid enough to not get in on this greatest swindle in history.
Maybe I'm not being clear. If we spent $50 trillion to become carbon neutral by 2050 in the United States of America, how much is that going to reduce world temperatures?
This is a global problem, so we need to reduce our emissions, and we need to do everything we can.
How much, if we do our part, is it?
Right here, 0.004 of their own concocted fraud. Greenhouse gases, your ass. Those are coming from underneath the judge's robe in Wisconsin, that big fat slob. That's some greenhouse cow gas right there. And what about all the workers in all the companies? It was supposed to be utopia, squirrel.
Ford and SK, the two companies behind the massive electric vehicle battery plants in Hardin County, are splitting up.
WDRB's Fallon Glick breaks down that announcement today. Fallon?
You guys, it has not been smooth sailing for the nearly $6 billion Blue Oval SK battery.
Oh, yeah, that's the third one. So 5.7, 7.4, and 6. You guys are doing great. What's the business climate like in your Democrat areas?
Shirley, there are typically some extenuating circumstances when a homeowner would dump a ton of money into their home and then renovate it and then move less than a year later. For Samsung, this very same scenario, leaving New Jersey, going to Texas, sounds like a business decision.
You think so, stupid? From sea to shining sea. Wherever there's a Democrat, it's the same story, except, of course, if you're in on it. You got some juice, you got some clout, you got some power, woo, and you get yourself one of those phony loans from the G.
This is actually policy for Democrats. This is the allowance of fraud. They knew what was happening. They knew that they were not going to check Treasury's do not pay list because 2/3 of them would have been flagged on the do not pay list. And then they ordered SBA employees to only take 4 hours per applicant and not take any more time and get those.
So the first thing that you release AI on is all of this bureaucracy bulldunk, because any scumbag who pretends to work for Small Business Administration and takes an order from don't breathe in when Joe Biden's around. It smells like Paul Pelosi's hammer drawer. And they took the 4 hours. 4 hours. How many government workers you ever see work 4 hours? That was created to be stolen.
The applications through. That's how $14 billion got out the door so quickly. And then we come to find out in the GAO report that 70% of it was fraudulent. Now,
just let that sink in. 70. That's 7 out of 10, in case there's a CPS student who can't figure out how to change the radio or turn it off. 7 out of 10 SBA loans under and the office whore called the Biden administration. 7 out of 10 fraud, fake, nobody, not real, which means 7 out of 10 SBA loans given under Joe Biden were given to Democrats.
From day one at the SBA have come in with a zero tolerance policy on fraud. And so we began cracking down on it right away. We've already sent out 1,000 demand letters demanding that those who took the money, now these were not loans, these were grants. These were the federal government writing checks of taxpayer money to the folks you just named, not
loans, grants. I stand corrected. So that means it's called drinks around the house, money for nothing, and Ferraris for free. Well, it must deliver a high quality of life in these Democrat areas. Wouldn't you think so?
Prosecutors say he stabbed an 83-year-old woman in the neck as she was waiting for a taxi Sunday morning.
Betty Ellerby is recovering from multiple stitches in Brookdale Hospital after being hit with a stick in what police are calling a random attack.
He just walked in front of me and looked at me holding it bit sick.
It happened Sunday morning, as Ellerby says. She was waiting for a taxi cab on her way to church in Brownsville.
Boy, if that isn't a postcard. And some filthy, low living recipient of all of your money in policies, throwing teeth for that drug addict pig, stabbed her and beat her. That's all right, though. That's New York. New York must be taking some approaches to really turn things around.
Taylor will be the first out trans woman to lead a city office in New York City history.
Well, she'll be easy to identify. Who do I talk to about the permit? Talk to the guy in his mother's skirt, that freak.
As we all know too well, the queer community, as well as intersecting communities and adjacent communities.
What? What are you? What is wrong with you? Do you hear yourself? You got a mirror in your fracking house? Why don't you run for Senate, scumbag?
Or it's just going to have to be such a flood of Democratic ballots coming in after, being tabulated after election night or into the wee hours this morning that would just lift both Democrats over Hilton. That's increasingly what it.
Don't worry. Just tell them the number they need. They'll come up with it. Like they did in Minnesota to get the comedian elected. Way back when. Nobody figured it out, huh? You've been stealing elections for as long as there's been a Democrat mafia. Don't worry, Squirrel. It's not as bad as you think. These areas are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. See, it's impossible to deny the failure, the fraud, the corruption that is the Democrat Party. Don't worry about a thing, baby.
Democrats need to win in a state like this if they have any hopes of flipping the Senate.
They don't just need to win in a state like this. They need to win in 2 states like this, and specifically states that Donald Trump carried in landslides by more than 10 points. If you look at the path, if it exists for Democrats to get a Senate majority, they got to defend places like Georgia and Michigan. They got to win Maine. Certainly no guarantee based on what you're seeing in the last few days there.
What I like about this, Squirrel, is they're going to have to either vote for the low-living character of a Democrat judge that gets stooped in our office by anybody with a hammer, or a Nazi in Maine. Go ahead. Show me who you are, you filthy rats.